there. And Kung Fu Cowboy coming to you with another segment of my segments. We're going for the more the exterior lighting in an indoor situation. It seems to be working okay, though. I'm kind of looking here in the monitor, which means I'm having to use the lower resolution camera lens. But, well, unless I had a monitor, I got to know what I'm shooting, because it's pretty hard to guess. So anyway, I am coming really right now to mention a couple of prizes. Now, this is the actual reward we're giving away in our crowdfunding campaign for the Kung Fu Cowboy Kills Tunnel Zombie #1. I'm looking at all the reflections going on here and realizing it isn't working so easy. But this is the Christ Killer. The Christ Killer CD. Okay, actually I think just the download is what you're going to get on them. I don't know, we'll buy, there's only a couple hundred of these left. These are collector items. I originally pressed up 1,000 of these things back in 2007. Yeah, we're going to open this one. This one's shrink wrap. Oh, which cracks me up. There was only of the actual original Kung Fu Cowboy album here. This is Kung Fu Cowboy Level 1, King Solomon's Temple. I only pressed up less than maybe 100 of these things, you know, and a couple pressings bottom it. Had Kinko's at the time, and when I see them advertised as shrink wrapped and brand new, that's quite a joke, because none of them were ever shrink wrapped. So somebody's bootlegging my record. This is the original, and in fact, this one actually it's numbered. This is 3 of 20. So in this particular batch, I actually made 20 of them, and this is number 3. So I'm not sure how many of these I still got around, but you know, these are numbered and signed, so that makes them even, I think, more special cool. In fact, I kind of started doing something on these. This one's actually stuck in my CD player. We just busted. I haven't been able to listen to music by anybody else in 3 years, maybe. It's been stuck in there. Well, at least 2 years. And which is good, because the only music I hear is in my head now these last couple of years, which is how I've been able to invent my new zombie music. Finally, just the music in my head finally came out. I have no radio, I have no CD, don't even listen to my cassettes, of course, but well, if I had a house, I might. And of course, my turntable. I have no music in my life, no fresh music except my music, which I can hear. I've got a little bit on my iPod, but even then, it's mostly mine that I listen to. And yeah, I listen to my music. So. Yeah. But get back to our thing, our fundraiser here. So where were we? This is the Christ Killer CD. This thing's really cool. This is actually a, too bad people aren't into CD art anymore, but this is actually a fold-out CD case. If I go like this, does that help a little? Anyway, that's a fold-out CD case. Let me see, how does that work? It actually folds out twice. You can fold it out this way too. So if you want to just take this thing out and put this on your wall, that would work. On the inside, it's kind of a joke. You'll see my band members with the lights over their eyes. These are actually previous band members from another band. I've been pretending to be American Zen since 1991 or 92. And so when you see photos of me with the band, these represent bands that I had been in, but they actually don't represent American Zen, because I'm American Zen. I'm Tom Calder, the bass player, Steve Hickson, the drummer, Rory G, the guitar player, and of course, the hippie coyote on flute, acoustic, and all the songwriting. So, anyway, these are the 4. But this is the second album. This is the second of the American Zen albums, this Christ Killer. And this is a really cool CD. In fact, it's a collector's item. In fact, let me see if I look on here. There it is. Yes, it even says right there, first pressing. It's a collector's item. All you bootleggers out there, you're going to probably try to copy. I don't know. But anyway, this is what the original looked like. And they come in these blood red CD cases, which my manufacturer just happened to have laying around and couldn't get anybody to buy them. It's like, hey, I like those. Those are perfect. I'll take those. So I got all of them. I don't know how many. Anyway, yeah, he must have had at least 1,000, because I got my full 1,000. I don't know how many he had left over, but it looks really cool. I like it, that red case, and it worked. But anyway, this is a really cool CD, but people don't like CDs, so get the download. That's fine. It's same music. Okay, so you go get the download, you get the CD music, you get this one. One of the songs here, now I tried really hard to, as a graphic artist, to try not to obliterate the art with my text. But it is legible, you can read it there, but I still like to think the picture's still there. So it took a lot of work. I really worked hard to make a nice CD cover. I'd rather have made a big, huge album cover, but I worked really hard to make something small that would look cool. And so anyway, that's the CD. This is level 2. This is the second one. Now you see, American Zen is actually on. Okay, so anyway, this is the album you get. Now let me just tell you what it is. The actual first album starts with this. Now American Zen is Zen Buddhism. American version of it. Me. I'm the American Zen, kind of, I guess you could say. Oops, let me get this out of the way. That was kind of like, this is my reflector here. See, it's kind of like giving me a little more facial lady. But anyway, I like the blown out white here. If you could make it out, the Masonic temple's back there. And so we could kind of consider that heaven. So here I am at the gateway to heaven, trying to get away from heaven, actually. I'm trying to get back on earth and create my little kingdom on earth. So I still need my kingdom on earth. That kind of got taken away by my family. I tried to take what I had and build my family into it, and they basically evicted me from my own kingdom. So I got to build it again. This is the first album, which talks about my family. This is actually the beginning of the Buddhist journey, the beginning of my family. This is level 1, peace of mind. And in the Buddhist journey, the way I see it, which turned out to be very similar to the Scientology Dianetics thing, but don't get scared. I came up with this on my own. It just has kind of it's similar. And well, I'm not going to explain exactly how, but I'll tell you what it is. And then you can research the other one and see how they're similar. But anyway, here we go. The first level is level 1, peace of mind. In fact, break this one open too. This one's string crap. These two were the only two that I actually manufactured, 1,000 of them from a professional manufacturer. The rest of these were kind of like, a dozen at a time, printed pressings. Anyway, this first one, American Zen, level 1. There's a picture of me performing. That's when I was had met my first wife, or my last wife, or my ex-wife, or the wife that gave me all the advice that got me to where I am now. I was in a better place before I started listening to her advice. But anyway, here we are, and this came out really cool. This is a performance. She was probably there at this gig even. This is the Coconut Teaser. And here's the CD, which, of course, all of these are by Shaolin Records. Shaolin Records is me. That's my company. And I've kind of played down the Shaolin and the Buddhism. It's just kind of been in there. It's the flavoring. It's the substance. It's the plane flying over right now. Burbank Airport. I think it's called now the Bob Hope Airport, which is cool. Bob Hope needs a little credit. He's going to fade from history because all those old shows just aren't going to appeal to people in this century. So Bob Hope, Bing Crosby, a lot of those people who I realize were the original talents of television and movies are well, they'll always be around, They'll always be. Anyway, this is the first one. It represents survival. This is peace of mind. This represents trying to have peace of mind, getting a family, having a job, having a vacation, having a home, a retirement. Everything we would consider, everything it takes to be successful in life, you can accomplish on level 1. That's what this is about. And so all the songs here are about my family surviving, because I just had a 1-year-old kid and moved to Utah and realized that California long-haired Buddhist hippies were not welcomed. After a few years, though, I became quite the hero and the star there. But the first year was hell. And this is the story about it. So anyway, this is survival. This is the first one. This is trying to find survival. The second one is once you pass survival, you go to religion. Okay, now you got some religion in your life. Well, hopefully you do. Most people don't. And this is it. This is rising above survival. You can survive and have a great life and never even talk or think or consider there even being a God. You can have a great life, no God included. That's totally possible. I've seen it. But if you do want to go to another level, if you want to really believe that there is evolution and some sort of improvement in your spirituality, life to life, plus reincarnation. But anyway, this is the second level. Same lifetime, second level. You got religion. But unfortunately, it's called Christ Killer because it's about all the people who basically, well, it means several different things. Killing the Christ within you means to deny your inner child. Killing the Christ in other people means to stifle their creativity. And killing Christ in general means that you believe that if you kill somebody, that you'll get a better place in heaven. And I think that's wrong. I don't think you should believe, if I kill you, I'm going to be a better afterlife. I disagree with that concept. And I think religions that use that are Christ killers. So they believe in killing Christ. They believe that, hey, look at that, there's a Christ. I'll get bonus points for that one. Okay, now, the third CD, third level is I want you to love me. So in other words, once you get past religion, you realize, hey, my religion's got some cool stuff, but yours religion's got some cool stuff too. Can I borrow some of that? So you start to borrow from them all. And you start to realize, hey, I'm from America, but hey, people from Germany are cool too. You don't have to be us versus them. It's not like the U.S. versus the Ruskies anymore, So this is all about playing teams, countries, religions against each other, believing you're better and they're worse, and that killing them might be an improvement even in reality. So this is about loving everybody, no matter what religion they are, no matter what nationality they are, no matter what color they are, whatever. You know, this is loving everybody and wanting to be loved by everybody. That's kind of cool too. You know, a little bit of love. Got to make the world a better place. So anyway, this is the third one. This has got all my sexy romantic stuff. This was kind of an interesting album, and it's based on a love affair. The last love of my life, actually, the last girlfriend I had, which was so many years ago, I'm embarrassed to even say. But she inspired this. She was one of my Kung Fu students, and we just got along really well. And so I helped her through her divorce, and then she helped me through my celibacy. She bought me a ticket to Utah and put me up in a hotel for a week and put enough food in there we never had to leave. And it was so good that it inspired this record. Lots of cool, sexy songs and romantic things, and yeah, very romantic record. Level 4. Okay, so let's rise above romance and stuff. And maybe you got a purpose. Maybe you actually want to help people. You want to help people get better. Now we're into level 4. And level 3 is where Buddha started, by the way. This is the beginning of Buddhism. It's compassion, believing everybody's got something valuable to say and trying to figure out what it is. This is the level where you figured out what's so valuable you want to share with other people. You kind of put together a bunch of stuff and say, hey, I got some cool stuff, and you'll be a lot better off if you listen to me and let me show it to you. So that's what this album's about, level 4. This is kind of, this would be Jesus with his posse, Buddha with his posse traveling around. This is basically being somebody who's trying to help the world and spending your time and effort actually helping other people. Oftentimes if they don't appreciate it, you move on. So you don't force it on people, though. This isn't about forcing people to be happy and better. It's just saying, hey, if you want to be better and happy, check this out. So that's level 4. This is King Solomon's Temple. This is based on the fact I was really rooted in Masonry at the time. And I really decided to rewrite my story as a Masonic myth. And I went back to the origins of it and the building of King Solomon's Temple. And that's what this album's about. So it's kind of like my story. And then I jacked it back at about 3,000 years and said it was the story of Hiram Abiff and King Solomon. And so I kind of rewrote the story into their story. And so it's kind of a cool album. Gave a little Western theme. I'm kind of proud of this once again. All these graphics. Well, like I said before, there's no CD in here that's stuck in my player. There's only a few of these too. I saw one of these sell for $147 at Amazon. So people realize that these are, rare, and unfortunately I'm not much in demand, but if you really want it, a few people are jacking up the price. Make it hard. Well. Oh, so anyway, those are my 4 albums. There's another one called End of the Line, which has absolutely no CDs pressed. It's only at Bandcamp or my websites, or we can get it everywhere. American Zen, that's the last album I released by them, called End of the Line. And it really is it's a great album. It was recorded right here in Tacoma Studios. Right back here, I got the vocals up here in the cab. This is Studio 1. And then Studio 2 is the back here, and that's where I cut all the guitars and bass. And so, anyway, but just as a quick little aside, this will be somewhere in the future, too. This is another CD. I'm also Buddha Zhen Shenlong. Might have mentioned that when I was promoting my Masonic Kung Fu book. Buddha Zhen is my Kung Fu name, Zhen Shenlong. Of course, I'm a Buddha. I've been teaching Buddhism for, 30 years or something. Anyway, the point being is this is another CD that I don't think I'm offering this one. At least not at this point or in this particular thing. But you can get it. This is missing the case. There's another case that goes around this. It's just blank, this CD in the middle of it. Anyway, this is the Buddha Zhen CD called Tai Chi Magic 1. And I've actually got one song that was written specifically for my school to perform the Tai Chi Magic song, because it'd be like 15 to 20 of us up on stage, and instead of somebody going inhale, exhale, that's how we normally choreograph it, so everybody's in the same place, we can do it to the music. As long as everybody starts at the right spot, we'll end all together, and all we have to do is go to the speed of the music. Breathe, inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale. It should be a little faster than that. But anyway, the point is we just breathe to the music and do the Kung Fu format. It's really neat. But there's a whole bunch of other cool songs. A couple I really, really like Path to the Mountaintop, and, well, you'll see, a solo flute. There's shakuhachi on here, custom made for me, a black bamboo shaka. Anyway, but that's why am I out there? So anyway, get back to our original, which is on this particular thing. I'm promoting a crowdfunder at Indiegogo. Christ Killer! Sounds spooky? Well, if you're probably interested in my zombie movie, you might like spooky stuff. And there's some interesting stuff. In fact, I kind of start this thing off I really jolt you. This whole thing is kind of a wild ride if you don't, it's one of those things you really want to take seriously. Because I'm telling a story, and the songs on this one are actually, I think, pretty much in the order they were written in. They're all true stories, like even the second poem. This one called Wildcat Poem. It's sad. It's ugly. Ew. It's about my daughter and I walking and finding a dead cat in the road. That's what it looked like. Anyway, it was just kind of I really related. I felt sorry for that cat, not because of the cat, but for me. I was at the time really getting persecuted and having a tough time in Utah, and I felt like that cat, like I was a wild animal, you know, in a strange technological world that was just going to run me over if I didn't keep my eyes open. And that's what they were kind of doing. They were kind of trying to railroad me out of town. Butcher knives in my door, and seriously, and all kinds. It was horrible for a while there. But got over it. Finally, I got what happened was I got some high-level students who were high-level Mormons. And when they talked to the political powers, Politburo, or whatever they call it, of the Mormon church, they basically sent down some commands and edicts saying, leave that Buddhist hippie alone. They call me the Shaolin Tai Chi guy, or the I don't know, they had all these nicknames for me, but hippie was sometimes one of them. But anyway, they actually stopped bugging me, and then they started treating me good, and it was great. I enjoyed Utah. I actually came back to California thinking, man, if I can get treated this good in Utah, man, wait till I get to California. But man, California is all about people who just want to